Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots, and today I am sharing a very popular trend, the Scallop Edge Easter basket tag. If you are new to my channel, I don't add fluff. I don't believe in it. So if I'm moving too fast or you want to follow what I'm doing on the screen, go to the cog, go to playback speed, and anything above the word normal will slow this down. There are two places you can get this set of files. One is my shop and one is the Atom platform hosted by Xtool. So either way, if you're using the SVG for another laser program or you're using the XCS file for an Xtool device, you are going to likely want to make a copy of the original file so that you can refer back to it. You can see there's 2 scallops and 2 ovals along with 3 optional add-ons. I'm going to load pink and white acrylic into the bed of my CO2 laser, the Xtool P series. I'm just going to position these pretty roughly because I realized I don't like that frosted white. I'm going to be processing on a honeycomb, and girl, she's dirty, which is why the front and back are both masked. This is optional, but if you are new, you may want to go into the materials library and set a test from there. I, however, am using this exact acrylic from Xtool, and I know what it burns at pretty well. So now that we have our material, we can go ahead and we want to measure. So if you want to measure the edges or wherever, I want mine to be close together. So all I'm going to do is measure these 2 pieces. They are 2 different sets of acrylic. You can see I replaced the frosted white with a regular white. But I do that because I want to know if I can burn them together or if I have to turn these off and burn them separately, which I will do. So I'm just making sure everything I'm not burning is off. Then on everything I am burning, I'm going to go ahead, enter my settings, and burn it. You can see it took about 40 seconds. This is actual speed. When I'm done with that, I'm going to go back in and turn those outputs to off. And I'm going to turn on the little bunnies. So I'm going to make any adjustments right here, and then I'm going to cut those. 30 seconds later, here is the actual speed. Once that's done, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to turn those off. Okay, so I'm going to be using basswood plywood for my backer pieces. So I'm just going to move all of these out of the way, making sure that those are all set to off. Then I'm going to load my basswood plywood unmasked so I can see where the wood grain, like what I like for the wood grain, because it is going to be visible. And then I'm going to measure that. And again, you can choose, I know what my settings are, but you can choose to come in here and help out with your settings or your testing. Next up, I'm just going to set those to on and make sure I enter my settings that I want. And then I'm going to mask it because I'm lazy and I don't want to sand anything. Okay, that's it. So because I did a really poor job on the masking, I'm going to zoom in here real quick after I remeasure. I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to have a huge bubble. I mean, that's fine. It's not going to do anything, so we're good. Now, if you are a beginner, I do recommend using the beta preview from Xtool. If you have incorrect settings, up here in the right will be a warning, an error. You can go back and test. So 40-ish seconds later, I'm done with that, and now it's time to turn all of that output to off and go ahead and do our custom names. So I am going to be using 3M on the back of my material because I'm lazy. I would never glue anything this small because I'm a klutz. So you can see I'm rounding off this text in the I Heart You font. I'm going to weld it and then convert it to a path so that I can come in here and remove that heart. I can also actually, when I hit done, you can see when I zoom in, I see a little bump over here on the right side of the eye. So we're going to take that away by removing the node. Then I'm going to add a circle. I'm going to position it in place. And then I'm going to select the circle and the name, come up to unite or combine and go to the unite. That right there is what I'm going to produce so I don't have to go hunting for the top of the eye. For the Uncle Grump font, I'm going to split the text and move each of these individually so they overlap so that I have one piece. I'm going to make it one piece by using the Combine Unite, and then I like to validate what they look like using the Engrave feature, but you can use Fill if you're using Lightburn. So now that I have all of that, I just want to go back and do my text, and at the very top of my acrylic, you will see a line of 3M 467 tape. So I'm just going to position my 2 text pieces up there. Again, you can choose the acrylic. I know my settings, so I don't know, 45 seconds later. For this one, it's actual speed. For assembly, normally I would be using Starbond medium. You can see it up there, but apparently it seized up on me. I don't know what I did. I must have left it open on a humid day, or it got hotter than 4 degrees in my house. I don't really know what happened, but I'm going to end up using, not this rock, I'm going to end up using JB Weld Clear Weld. So if you've never used it, it stinks, so I would go outside. But you can get this in a pinch at your Lowe's, okay? I'm using a foam swab that I normally use in my cleaning of my CO2 laser, and I'm just going to put that on the back. If you are new, you can use a dowel to help you place this, because this is not something you want moving around. That glue is going to get on the wood if you do. So just be sure to get a nice even layer and get that piece down. Now, I'm going to give you a tip that I learned the hard way, and that is this. Anytime I'm using any of the glues as opposed to the double-sided adhesive tapes, I let it sit for a minimum of 5 minutes before I protect and clamp. Then I'm going to let that sit for maybe 20-25 minutes before I do anything else. And the reason is that can slide around. I'm going to remove, once that's set, I'm going to remove the little protective covering from just the backer of the acrylic so that I can attach the 2 little pieces. I told you I stole my swab from the cleaning, my cleaning bin. I'm just going to do the same exact thing where I add it to the back of the acrylic and then protect and clamp it. Again, waiting a couple minutes. But for the names, because I had the 3M adhesive on the back, super simple. This is why I recommend this stuff. I always include some tips. So if you want to go to the bottom of the file, you will see all of my sales tips for people who are making these to sell. And 3M is an easy way to really ramp up production without a ton of effort. So I'm going to be removing the pieces masking now, and I just want to show you, I do use the, what do you call it, plastic razor, but for all the names like that are cursive or any kind of script, I use the Gorilla Tape. It works so much better. I added a suede cord for one and a nice little ribbon for another. You can position these with the same thing or different, whatever you want to offer. But that's it after I clean it. So I get asked a lot if I do clean my stuff. Absolutely. I use the Novus cleaner. We buy it in big jugs and just fill up these little bottles, and a nice soft lint-free cloth. And this is how these 2 came out, so you can position them to your audience in case you want to sell these. They do come with a commercial file. Always offer to add an engraving to the back for an upsell as well. So as a reminder, you can get the file in my shop, or you can get it over on the Atom platform. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you being here. Please like this video and subscribe for more laser crafting.